A bill introduced in the U.S. Senate Wednesday with a charge led by Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski and Maine Senator Angus King doesn't only call for a code of conduct for the justices to adhere to, the legislation also includes enforcement policies.
Even though every other federal judge is bound by a code of conduct, there is currently no formal code of conduct for justices who are part of the Supreme Court. This bill calls for the Supreme Court to create an ethics code to follow, and requires that the code be shared publicly on its website within a year of the bill's enactment. The legislation also designates an official to review possible conflicts and to go over Supreme Court complaints, and allocates federal employees to enact investigations if a justice is suspected of breaking the code of conduct.
I think that the American public is a little bit surprised, maybe even more than a little bit surprised, to know that the Supreme Court does not have a code of conduct.
Senator Lisa Murkowski says that this bill is partly because of a growing lack of trust between the people of the United States and those who make up the country's highest court. The move also comes after reports that Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas failed for decades to report luxury trips that were paid for him by a friend, Harlan Crow, who is known as a conservative billionaire, and a nearly $2 million property sale to a prominent lawyer that involved Justice Neil Gorsuch back in 2017.
I think it's a good first step to mandate that the court adopt its own code of conduct. But I think if they don't do it, then Congress absolutely has the power to do it for them.
There are many supporters of the bill, but others believe it goes too far. There are arguments that Congress cannot establish an ethics code for the Supreme Court since it has no governing body overseeing it, and claims that policing of justices could end up being to influence court outcomes rather than only enforcing the code of conduct. And while there is some distrust, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has previously said that he trusts all of the Supreme Court justices, highlighting a recent talk on ethical standards.
I have total confidence in Justice Gorsuch, Justice Thomas, and all 7 of their distinguished colleagues, no matter who appointed them.
The bill has a long way to go before it can become law, and would first need to pass both bodies before it can go to the president's desk. Also, those in charge of handling complaints towards the court will also have the duty of posting an annual report of those filings to include any action taken in response.